All right, welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mac podcast here on 1010XL's podcast platform, 1010XL.com, 1010XL app. We're live on Facebook. How you doing, Facebook? We're also recording inside the 1010XL podcast studios, brought to you by my good friends at Team Tommy Mac. You see Morgan & Morgan, the largest personal injury law firm in the world, of course, forthepeople.com. And you also see Carpet Man Flooring, home of LPVP, and the highest quality flooring at the lowest prices. Check them out at carpetman.biz. And got to welcome in Breezy Roofing, new to the program, new to the Team Tommy Mac, and great to have them on board. All right, football is back. Yes, indeed. The Hall of Fame game last night as the Chargers kicked the crap out of the Detroit Lions 34-7. Trey Lance looks pretty good for never really watching him play in the past couple of years, but looks like he made some plays. You know, look, here's the thing about preseason. I feel like I have to say this every year. You want your team to win. You definitely want your team to win. However, what's more important is that your number one units are beating the other team's number one units, right? When number ones go against number two and they have success, I don't get carried away about it because they're going against the twos. It's not the ones. If you have success against their ones, now it's a good kind of, you can kind of look at and gauge to see where you're at as a team. I don't care about how it ends because at the end of the day, a lot of those guys may not even be on your team or playing in a game. But nonetheless, it's great to be in games. For the record, I was one of those guys that didn't see action, especially that first year, 95. Man, I'd have to wait to the fourth quarter. It sucked. Let me tell you, it was, you get up for the game, you warm up, you don't play the first half, you go into halftime, you're jacked up again, and then you wait till like the middle of the fourth quarter. I mean, that's tough, and I feel for those guys. There's no doubt about it. So the number ones, the units, the ones versus ones matter, and then the guys who are trying to make the team matters because they're going to play roles for you. They're going to be backups. They're going to be special teams. They're going to be specialty type guys. Short yardage and goal line was my specialty back in the day. Even when I wasn't the starting linebacker, I always started on short yardage and goal line because I was just decent against the run. So a lot of luck and best wishes to all the players. Stay healthy. I did text with Tony Baselli, my man, earlier this morning about what to expect. He said it's a mock game, but there'll be some full speed to thud, which means they'll pop a little bit. I don't think it'll be a game like speed type thing, but they'll be pretty aggressive or pretty active, I should say. So it should be a good time down there at the stadium if you are going. I am not. The birthday, it continues. The celebration continues. I told my wife, I'm like, I feel like it's Mardi Gras. This is nuts. We're having our friends who we haven't seen this week, they're back in town. Robbie and Jim, they're coming over, and then some other friends, the Alexanders and co. are coming by, and we're going to have another birthday celebration. I'm like, babe, it's, the birthday was like 2 days ago. She's like, yeah, but it's 55. It's a big one. I said, all right. I said, well, you don't have to get a cake. Don't get a cake. And she just kind of looked at me like, of course I'm getting a cake. So I'm like, are people going to sing happy birthday? Whatever. It's all good, man. Life's good. It's good to be loved, so I can't complain. I will have it on the app, and I did find out during the radio with Jaguars today, Mike Demps, Fat Tony, and, of course, Dylan Denmark, that the scrimmage will be on the app. It'll, of course, be on the radio, but it'll also be on the 1010XL app. So download that today. It's great, by the way. You can listen to all the terrestrial radio programming, on-demand stuff, and everything else in between. All right, of course, we'll talk Jags training camp. What I've seen so far. Got some ideas for the offensive line. We got some NFL news and notes. I saw this ranking by ESPN. They ranked NFL teams with talent under 25, with the most talent under 25 years of age. There was a bunch of criteria, but the main are they expected key starters, expected key reserves, number of starts, and number of snaps. So just basically, guys that are under the age of 25 that are, going to be making quite the contribution to the teams. We came in 8th. I'll tell you who came in above us, and then we'll talk about that. We won't have time for this today, but I'm telling you right now, and I've got it mapped out. I'm not going to totally show you yet because I'm not totally done. But, I've been joking on helmets and heels about college football, and I think they could trim some fat on these conferences and really bring in the best of the best and have your own deal. I really, and I think eventually it's going to happen. And then, by the way, I know everyone's like, well, that, I don't want that, but hang on, because those that the fat that's trimmed, if they make their own league, that's some really good football. I mean, really good football. And I'm not going to go through it today, but yeah, some of you might not be happy, although most of you down here in the Southeast will be happy. But yeah, I took some off. I trimmed the fat. Let's see. I'll give you this. ACC, I whacked off 4. I actually whacked off 6, but came back. I brought 2 back. Big 12, I whacked off, let's see, 3, 6, 9. Big 10, 5, and then brought 1 back, although I'm not totally sold. And then really just 1 for SEC, but I might include a couple others. I want to look at that again. But anyway, we'll maybe get into that next week on a Tuesday. But I think college football could trim their fat, have their own rules, have their own TV, have their own rivalries, all of that stuff. And I think people would be pretty darn excited about it. All right, so far in training camp, I mentioned this on my training camp report brought to you by Team Tommy Mac yesterday. Yesterday especially, but the past couple of practices, Trevor has improved. Now, look, you got to keep it in perspective, and I am too. But I will say, watching him, definitely more decisive. Ball's coming out clean and crisp and on time. He threw earlier in camp, he wasn't really anticipating that great. And what does anticipating mean, right? So if my receiver's here and I'm the QB and he's going to run an in route, well, I'm not going to throw it when he's already made the break. I'm going to throw it before he makes a break, anticipating that he's going to be there. So the timing, right? And it's been good. You actually see it in practice. Not 100%. He threw one behind De'Ami Brown 2 days ago. Was it yesterday? And he caught it, so it was a catchable ball, but he put it behind him. Other than that, he's been on target, putting it in the right spot. So I've been impressed the past couple of days. Look, and it's funny. People are like, oh, he's been lighting it up. He hasn't. And listen, I love the guys that do the stats. I'm not going to do them. I don't really care. It's practice. But you got to realize that some of those throws that he gets off, he would not get off because the pressure. And there's been too much of it. And that obviously is a concern. But as far as Trevor, the timing, anticipation, and the placement of the football has been really good. So, look, I'll call it like I see it, like I always do. I hope he continues to improve and continues to get more comfortable. And, look, when you got that timing down, we were talking about that out pattern. When you throw that ball right before they break and when they make it to the sideline, the ball's right there, it's hard to stop. It's really hard to stop. Now, granted, the line's got to, they got to hold up. The receivers got to run the right route on time and this and that. But if you're able to throw that thing on time in the spot, it's really hard to defend. I think the dig is too. Sorry, little parts there, but I think the dig is too. I think you throw that thing on time. The dig is what? You go up vertical, 45-degree angle, then break it off 90 degrees, right? About at 18 yards is when you break it off, 15, 18. So if you throw it before they break it off, that timing's just going to be perfect, absolutely perfect. So I do like that. De'Ami Brown's having a great camp. Brian Thomas, I felt like yesterday after a couple drops, Brian Thomas and Trevor really connected well, working on some chemistry. Those timing of the anticipation on the digs worked out good. Parker Washington having a good camp, hit a nice long throw. One other thing Trevor's doing, he's looking off the safety better than he ever has, and it looks pretty natural. So we'll see how that progresses. The concern, again, I don't want to be, ad nauseum here, but the tackles concern me. Again, it's still kind of early, but I tell you what, I think Chuma Edoga should get a shot at left tackle. I think you need to at least have an idea if he can play that. Now, I know he's playing right guard for you because McCarry's out with back spasm. Hopefully he can get back in. But you got Wyatt Milam. It hurts that Cole Van Lanen's out. I don't know if he can play left, but he can help you somewhere along that line. He showed that he can play right. But I think Chuma Edoga is very athletic, a big guy, and he's played left before. So, no disrespect to Fred Johnson. I know he's out there competing, but if he was going to be – if he had a real shot at taking over for Walker, he would be running with the ones, and he's not. It's all Walker. So I personally, look, again, it's practice, but it's still full speed. And by the way, this ain't one-on-one stuff. Everyone's like, one-on-one's not fair. It ain't one-on-one. It's team. He can't block Trayvon Walker and team. He can't block Josh Hines-Allen. Now, not 100%, but about 80. Trayvon's won about 80% of the battles, it feels like, anyway. But we will... I think they're going to have to do something there. I do. I think they're going to have to at least take a look. And look, at the very minimum, it puts pressure on Walker saying, hey, man, this job you're not setting ink here. You're in pencil. And if you don't fix it, we're going to have to figure it out, because where are you going to go? You're not getting anybody off the street anymore, I don't think. You're not trading for anybody, I don't think. So, you got to work with who you work with. Hopefully they give Chuma Edoga a shot at left tackle. I'd like to see it. Tonight, hopefully they do run some, physicality, because I want you to see LaQuint Allen, and I want you to see Jackson, number 38. I like this kid a lot. He's done a great job. He's a bruiser. He's an absolute bruiser, and I love the way he runs. I don't think he's deep speed. Jaquindon Jackson. Sorry, Jaquindon. I'm going to get that name right. I am very sorry, because I should be able to remember that. Jaquindon Jackson, number 38 out of Arkansas. He's an absolute bull, and I'm looking forward to seeing just that. All right, real quick, news around the NFL. Terry McLaurin, he wants a trade. He wants DK Metcalf money. Cortland Sutton just signed. They're a decent one-on-one, although I think Terry's ahead of him. He signed for about $23 million. Metcalf's had like $33, so somewhere in between. McLaurin wants near DK Metcalf. It's being reported. I don't know how true it is, but that's what's being reported. I don't know, man. You only got so many years to play this game. I get it, but you don't want to miss any time. You got Jaden Daniels. You got an uprising team. You got a coach everybody likes. You're very good. I mean, Terry McLaurin's a great wide receiver. There's no doubt about it. And for them, he's gold. So I would make sure he's happy, but you got to find a happy medium there. And at the end of the day, I don't know. And I know, look, it's not my money, so I hate saying this, but if it was $28 million a year at this point in your career, I would just be like, yeah, I'm Steve Miller, man. I'm taking the money and running. Absolutely gonna play my ass off, but. That's plenty of guaranteed money. Excuse me, plenty of guaranteed money for you to live your life in whatever life you want. But again, not my life. But nonetheless, we'll see how that goes. Of course, Pittsburgh Steelers coming to town next week. Looking forward to seeing Aaron Rodgers. You may not see him at all, but I know if I'm a Steeler fan, I want to see what he looks like. All you've seen is, some videos on ESPN and whatnot. All right, so this ESPN ranking, NFL teams with talent under 25, expected key starters, key reserves, number of starts, number of snaps, basically guys that they feel are blue chip under 25. We came in 8th, and our blue chip guys are Brian Thomas, Trayvon Walker, Travis, of course, Hunter, and Anton Harrison they put in there. I don't agree with that. He's got to do it. I don't know. I'm not impressed with him. I don't know. And I don't know about the watch. He's just our tackles are struggling right now. They're struggling trying to block our guys. So I want to put him in there. But you got to throw in Strange, Bigsby, Mason Smith, Jarian Jones, Parker Washington, and then the question marks, Jefferson and Antonio Johnson, which I hope he can. I'll tell you again, man, if that kid's got it all together everywhere in his game, I think he could be a fantastic free safety. But that's a key group of guys. Strange, look, I like Strange. I think he's going to be good. He's got to hold on to the ball. He's had the ball knocked out a few times in camp. I don't know what's going on there. But he's going to have to shape up. Hunter Long's had a good camp. He's got an ankle. Hopefully he can get back. Muntz, haven't seen much of Munt, but I know he's injured too. So that tight end position getting a little thin. Let's see the rankings. You're not going to like it, but keep in mind when they did this list, it's under 25, not 25 and under. So Trevor's out. Our quarterback's out. 4 of the top 8 have young QBs, right? Number 1 is Houston. Whatever. Say what you will. They've got, as far as this ESPN ranking is concerned, they're number 1, most talent, under 25. Look, you got Stroud, you got Will Anderson Jr. That's 2 right there. You know what I mean? I mean, they're obviously they've got some talent. Seattle's number 2, Washington 3, New York Giants 4, Bears 5, Lions 6, Pats 7, and our Jaguars 8th. Of course, Washington with Daniels, Bears with Caleb Williams, and the Pats with Drake May. Give them, they say Drake May hasn't thrown a pick yet in practice. We'll see about games. It's just practice. Even tonight's scrimmage will only tell you a certain amount. But, look, it's opportunities for guys to open eyes and have an opportunity to either make this team or play a significant role on this team. I keep getting asked, I don't know what's going on with Aaron Armstead. I don't. And now, look, the whole veteran thing, I mean, it's over. Like, veterans need a day or two. They don't need a week. It's been a week. We say this team's real, and I don't care. I'm not bagging on the team, but everyone says, "Oh, the transparency." You're not transparent with everything. Why isn't Armstead out there? Don't give me, it's a veteran. No, why isn't he out there? What happened to Mason Smith? What's the problem? Why can't you tell me what happened to him and how it happened? Every other injury, you're like, yeah, it's a shoulder, it's this, it's a lower leg, Buster Brown. But no, I can't. I mean, we know what it is because you can see it on him. You see where he's got the sleeve, but it's just odd to me. But what's going on with Armstead is, I don't get it. I don't. I mean, look, Ogba's 31. He's played a lot of football. Murray's 31. He's played a lot of football. You're 31. You've played a lot of football. But what's with this, this kind of treatment? Like you're some superstar. You don't have to practice. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know why it is. And maybe there's something I don't know. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They're not disclosing, but he's out there working out. He's out there in individual drills. He just doesn't participate in team. Now, if you're his teammate, okay, I don't care what level of ball we're talking about, but if you're his teammate, aren't you after a while like, yo, man, what the hell? Like, why aren't you playing? What's wrong with you? Why don't you want to practice? We all got to practice. Why, were you better than all of it? Like, this isn't going to work. Now, I asked a couple guys on the sideline that would know, and the answer was no, not that they heard of. But I wondered, are they trying to move him? Now, it doesn't seem like you would because I think you need him, but he's not out there. And a lot of times, it used to be this way. I don't know if it is today. But teams wouldn't, there was 2 things teams would do, okay? Say you were a guy they weren't happy with, one way or the other, for whatever reason. If you say you're hurt, say you're nicked up, okay? Could be anything, hamstring. We'll just say you got a hamstring. And they pressure you to practice because they want to get you out. Because once they get you on film, this is what we were always taught by the older guys. Like, hey, man, if you got an injury and you go out there and practice and you show that you can practice, they've got that on film. And when they got that on film, you can't file a grievance for injury because you're practicing. You know what I mean? Because they can't cut you or they couldn't back then. They couldn't cut you when they're injured. They'd have to do an injury settlement. But to not do an injury settlement, they just were like, well, look, he's practicing. What do you mean? He's not injured. I mean, he's just got a little ding. It's nothing major, So then the other side of it is, okay, well, we're not happy with. Now, again, hypothetical. I don't know this and I don't know anything. I just don't know why he's not out there practicing. Maybe tonight changes. Maybe next week changes. I don't know. But eventually he's got to get out there. So the other side is, as a team, you don't want him to practice with team because the chance of him getting injured, now I can't move him. So I don't know if they're trying to move him. Don't go out there like Tom McManus saying he's going to move him. I'm not saying that, but there's something going on where he's not practicing for a reason, and he's not injured, and the veteran crap is over. Like, give me a break. You're not a pro. You're not here. We don't care what you did in San Fran. You can't rest on that. Like, let's go. Why aren't you out there? I don't know. I don't know. If he was my team, I'd be like, man, what's going on? What are you doing? Why aren't you? We're out here busting our ass, and you're out there looking around like you're some kind of, big thing. I don't know, Jeremy. I don't know. It could be. But they're not disclosing it. But again, they're the secrecy to injuries. I don't totally get. I could see if it was your star quarterback or something. You don't want the league to know yet. But Mason Smith, who cares if the league knows if he's hurt or not? Who cares? And who cares how he got hurt? I don't know. Whatever. All I know is our top two defensive tackles, who I think we desperately need, are not on the field. And they haven't been all camp. Now, that doesn't mean they won't be out there. I think Mason Smith will eventually get out there, but what kind of shape is he going to be in? Is he going to be able to play in the games? What if he doesn't play in the preseason? I don't know that. I don't know how long, but it's already a week, if not longer. Yeah, it's over a week. They started when? Wednesday to Wednesday was a week. Today's Friday, so it's like 9 days in. And he's not out there. He's out there working out on the side. So that's a problem. And we need those guys. We need those guys big time inside. And if we don't have it, and you're going to roll in with Lacey and Devon Hamilton and maybe Jordan Jefferson, who I'd like to still see what happens. Maybe he can move Agba inside. He's big. He's big. Maybe he can handle that, but they're going to have to do something about that. Two things: offensive tackle, interior defensive tackle. Maybe they could figure it out. I think they possibly could. I mean, I don't want to say, they got to figure it out because I don't know if they do, right? What if Mason's out for a significant period of time? Listen, no disrespect to Devon Hamilton, but don't give me Devon Hamilton, okay? God bless the guy. He's played a career. He's made a career out of it. He's okay, but not all of a sudden he's great. Don't see that. You know what you got out of him, and he's okay. But you need better than okay. You need something. You need a stalwart in there. You need a stud in there. So hopefully they can figure that out, and we'll see tonight. Maybe I don't think you'll see Smith. I think he's out, but maybe Armstead will, actually participate, and that would be great because I think we need him. I think we desperately need him. I don't care what Josh Hines-Allen says about his teammate. It's a bunch of bullshit anyway. Like, he's just propping him up, which is fine. They're friends. Great. But he ain't the best DT in the game. He's not even top 20. I mean, well, I shouldn't say 20. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know every nose tackle in the game, but I don't know. He doesn't rank very high for me. So hopefully they can address that and make sure that the two top tackles are on the field the majority of the time. And again, I want to see Jordan Jefferson, see if he can get something done. All right, make sure you check out TommyMac.net. You'll see this content, this show. You'll see some horse's mouth. Oh, by the way, last night we're at Lynch's Irish Pub, and we had a great group of a lineup, a lot of businesses, some veteran organizations helping the veterans out. And then I had a group of 5. Aaron Beasley, Killer Bees, Coach Mark Duffner, former Jaguar linebacker coach and longtime coach, Cincinnati, Maryland, bunch of places. Sam Kavaris, Kevin Hardy, Dave Campbell. And, man, what a conversation we had. You will check that out, dailynewsnetwork.com. It'll also be on ABC. We had to make it into 2 segments because it was long, but it was so much fun. It was absolutely fantastic. I know next week Coconut Joe's will be out there, so come on out to Lynch's Irish Pub. I think he's coming out with some goodies, and we'll just give them to you. That's the best hot sauce I've ever had. Check them out. I've got the QR code on my Facebook page, my profile page. Go there and just, you do your thing. It'll take you right to the landing spot and just order the best hot sauces that you'll have. Coconut Joe's hot sauces. That is, I mentioned Carpet Man Flooring. Love them, of course, the LVP and everything else. Chris Rocero's Bail Bonds, the number one name in the bail game. I mentioned Morgan & Morgan like I did Carpet Man. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Take care of your junk. Take care of your construction debris. Veteran-owned and operated. They're absolutely fantastic. JDog.com. Azar Sausage, fourth generation, homegrown, down home, the best sausage you'll ever have. Check it out at the nearest Winn-Dixie's. You can also see azarsausage.com. Code Ninjas, a great program and school for your kids to learn all types of technology, coding, any types of security, AI, you name it, they will take care of your kid. Get them a leg up in technology. Get them a leg up at codeninjas.com. Newmark Phoenix Realty Group, number one commercial real estate firm in the land. Let me tell you something. These guys, they handle it all. And they do it with such integrity, and you can trust them, and they do what they say they're going to do, and they do a great job every single time. PhoenixRealty.net. Freedom Finance for all your needs when you're talking about a fractional CFO to come in and help you with your books, help you with your bookkeeping, your fundraising, your forecast, you name it. Courtney Myers does it all, and he does a great, great job. I've sent people to him, and they rave about him. Freedomfinance.llc or 904-752-0097. 752-0097. And, of course, Salt Air Inn and Suites. Visit saltair.com. Beautiful boutique hotel. I've sent many people there. They absolutely rave about it. Cool little courtyard with a pool. Great rooms, beautiful rooms, all upgraded. 4 blocks from the beach, 2 blocks from all the action. Visit saltair.com. I want to thank 1010XL for housing, catching up with Tommy Mac. I'll be back for Helmets and Heels at 2 to 4, talking more sports, more ball with Taylor Dahl as Lauren Brooks has the day off. Going to be a fun time. Coach Dave Campbell will join us. I'm going to go see my mom. She's at Brooks, doing better. Saw her yesterday. She's doing better, so I'm going to go check her out in between, grab a bite to eat, and then be back and ready to go to finish up my Friday. A week from today, the Dad Bods. We are performing at Culhane's Irish Pub in Atlantic Beach. If you want to come out, we'll put on a great show for you. And I hope you all have a great Friday. So until next time, stay safe out there, man, and stay cool. And visit TommyMac.net, man. Check out all the great content and all the great members of Team Tommy Mac, because every logo is there, and you click on it, and their website's embedded. The link is, and you go right to the website, and you see it all firsthand. Always there when needed is Team Tommy Mac. Till next time, be safe, stay cool, and be safe. We'll see you right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mac. Peace and love, everybody. Have a great weekend. Hey, Tom McManus here with the Catching Up with Tommy Mac podcast on the 1010XL podcast platform. Catch it on the 1010XL app. Catch it on 1010XL.com. You can also catch it on the 1010XL Jaguars channel on YouTube. Hey, man, it's always straight from the heart, straight from the gut, all ball, all Jags, all NFL coming your way each and every week, twice a week on Catching Up with Tommy Mac. We'll see you there.